Hello YouTube! I've been using the advanced building tools that were recently added to Besiege, and I must say that Spiderling has done a great job. The new tools allow you to move blocks in partial increments, rotate blocks to whatever angles you want, select and move multiple blocks at once, and more. This is a wonderful time saver over manual file editing, and now trial and error with complex designs is much more convenient. So I've decided to use these new features to build the smallest vanilla airplane I could. I called the resulting plane the 6-block Clover. It consists of only 6 blocks, the starting block, 3 wing panels, and 2 flying spirals. That means it only has 2 types of blocks added to the starting block, and it can be built from a single tab in the building blocks menu. It's also controlled with only 2 buttons, one for each of the twin engines. You can try the 6-block Clover at the Steam Workshop link below. I used the new building tools to fine-tune the Clover as well as I could, but it might be hard to fly at first. Note that, under full throttle, the plane sharply rises, then levels off, then pitches up again. If you keep the plane at the leveling off speed, this lets you maintain steady pitch and altitude. Or if you have room, you can go faster and weave to cancel out the natural pitching up of the plane. To descend slowly, go below the leveling off speed. To descend fast, oscillate at wider angles for a greater nose-down effect. To steer, roll the plane where you want to go. How hard the plane turns depends on its speed, angle, and whether engine thrust is applied, and it takes practice to get a feel for it. Since there are so few parts to break, this design is very durable in collisions and crash landings. In addition to the Clover's toughness, it also offers good ground maneuvering, which lets you get into position for the next takeoff. So as long as you don't get stuck upside down, you can keep flying worry-free. Once you get the hang of it, you might be surprised at how well an airplane can be controlled with only 2 buttons. Speaking of ground maneuvering, this crop duster doubles as a lawnmower. Only the flying spirals are vulnerable to enemy weapons, so the wings protect them during ground attacks. While the Clover conquers more zones, I want to mention a suggestion I submitted for the next update. It was for the flying spirals to allow controls for both forward and backward directions. Mechanically, it makes sense that you should be able to run the fans both ways like you can with the wheels and other rotating parts. Plus, that would open up a lot of interesting possibilities. I could add more control options to this plane, and possibly design even better minimalist machines. Hopefully they'll consider updating the fans in a future update. I'll link to the forum post with my suggestion in the description in case you're interested. I bet you never expected an airplane to cross the violent windstorm of the frozen path. The main challenge is that your machine has to withstand the initial blast of wind. There's a trick to the rest of the journey because of a glitch with the wind obstacle. If you get blown back until you're out of the storm, you can re-enter through the side of the storm without being affected by the wind. Since Sade made a map especially to challenge airplanes, I'll end this video here. This is the Valley of Kings. An issue with designing the smallest or simplest version of something is it can be hard to draw the line between what does and doesn't count as that thing. In this case, I had to judge whether a simple arrangement of blocks could be called an airplane. That's where Sade's airplane course came in handy. I decided that the machine had to fly like a plane, and it had to control well enough to navigate the Valley of Kings. I also used this as my test track to determine the fastest and most efficient way to fly my new plane. I did some flights staying rigidly straight and on course, and others going faster and weaving to control the pitch. It turned out that I could travel over 50% faster using the weaving method. So that's all I have to say about the smallest vanilla airplane. Please take it for a test flight at the Steam Workshop linked below. I'll also link to the Valley of Kings so you can try to beat my best time.